So this is an interesting video I have for you. This is some glitches in Star Citizen's social module update. And so I'm going to be showing you where I found these glitches and how I did them approximately. That's a later glitch there. We're going to walk over to a different glitch first. Basically, these are locations where you can clip through the world boundary, and you can do some exploring behind the scenes and fall to your death. So the first one's out by Kasabi, near one of the recycling bins. We're going to walk over there, right next to that gas station, and we're going to take a right, and there's this handcart right over here, and we're just going to walk into this crack, and we're going to sprint and jump and move right and left, and just keep walking forward and kind of jiggling to the left and then to the right. And eventually we will glitch through the wall right here. Be careful not to fall off. And you can walk on this ledge, see through walls, or at least a couple of walls, look over at the beautiful landscape. And if you should ever fall off, like I did when I'm trying to reach those stairs over there, missed, whoops, nothing has collision, so you fall straight through floors, kind of like in those superhero movies where someone gets thrown through several floors or something. And get to see this nice little stadium view or whatever it is, Coliseum maybe. And you keep falling into a gray void, and Star Citizen looks really detailed and beautiful, but not from the bottom of the world. Just a bunch of cubes and other stuff. This one was pretty easy to do, though. This glitch is an easy one to get. The other glitch I'm about to show you took probably an hour or more of attempts, and I've cut it down to just the successes so that you're not watching an hour of me failing at glitching through a wall. So this is the other attempt, which is on the one you'll see to your left. We're going to try through this right door, but it doesn't really work, so I'm going to try through the left one. And basically you sprint, run, go left, right, and jump as much as possible, and eventually you'll get through. And then here's the second door, which is basically the same procedure. Just do it again. And gets pretty crazy here, but that's what you need to do, and it hurts your hands a lot. Ouch. But eventually you can get through. The first time I did this in like 5 minutes, so you can get good or bad luck. These jumps are pretty cool looking though. And here we go. So now that I'm through that, I'm gonna salute all of the people who are about to attempt what I just did. Good luck, fellas. You'll make it, I'm sure. Maybe not. And I'm gonna go take a look around, do some exploration before I fall to my death. There's not really much more you can do out here. There's a new ship to look at, but let's, instead of looking at the new ship, let's look at the environment. You can see this outside the regular first-person shooter environment, but it's just kind of nice. The nets are nice and flapping in the wind, and it's a nice touch, and it looks quite cool. I like it. Good job, CIG. And this, of course, will be opened up to the players officially later when landing pads are open, I'm assuming, which is in a much later patch, so this is really early content. And again, even if I didn't mention this, Star Citizen is an alpha, so bugs like this are the least of their worries. Bugs that Star Citizen's usually worrying about is massive crashes and actually getting everything working, but this game is not really ready to be seen by anyone, but I'm seeing it nonetheless. And then over here you can kind of smash your camera through walls, which is quite easy to do as opposed to do some other stuff. So we can see inside the first door, and it looks quite nice. We can see They actually have a display working on there. So, I'm guessing they have the whole ship fully finished with modeling and textures and everything, but I don't know if this one's released yet. I don't know if this one's in the hangar or if this one's new or something. So, up next I'm going to try to jump on some of the platforms. Some of them you can, and some of them you can't. Oh yeah, here's a ship. I think this was in one of the demos. I can't remember. But there we go. Kind of looks like an X-Wing. Bye! Okay. So, go say a couple words to my friends and then jump onto one of the ledges. I was debating about jumping onto the ledge here, but I've heard that you just fall off, and I can pretty much confirm that that ledge right where I'm pointing now will probably, even if you could get onto it, it's a very thin ledge, and so down you go. Whee! So instead I'm going to go onto the ledge off to my left, and you can make it on that one. If you'll notice there's some round pipes, you can kind of get on one of the ledges and get over to it. I did that my first attempt, which I did in like 5 minutes, and then I started recording and like, oh, this will be cool. And then I didn't actually keep the whole recording of it, so I had to do it all again. But this is... I was complaining earlier that Star Citizen has invisible walls, so you can't really jump over the railings. But this gives invisible walls a whole new meaning. Where, you know... Yeah. 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 So, you can't jump over this because the railing has an invisible wall, and apparently you go invisible, and the floor goes invisible, and other stuff, but this is throughout most of the social module, and I think this is more of a feature than a patch or a bug, but this is obviously all the flashing invisible stuff, that's a bug. But right here, there's a little opening. If you see the light silver one, you can get onto that and move over to the left, right like that. That's what I was thinking about doing, but then I decided at the last second... I don't know what I decided. Oh, I wanted to go for this thing on the right here. And I made it. And then... yeah, that's pretty cool. I got onto it. He said I couldn't, and I did. Yay. And then... I just... Wee... Wee. I really wish they put some sort of like a thing on the bottom of the world that says cheater or something. That you would only see if you fell through the world. But... so this is what happens when you fall through the world in Star Citizen. Doesn't really, it's a really big map considering how actual big it is in terms of what you can travel to. So they really created a lot for you to see for the ArcCorp. So, nice job, CIG. Of course, it doesn't look so good when it's just a bunch of rectangles. But I have a feeling that CIG didn't want us to see this. Oh well. I doubt there's any other big name games that don't do stuff like this. You have to load the world in something. So. This is that thing. Kind of that sphere, I'm assuming. Surprised I don't take damage. Whee! And when you get far enough away from it, some of the squares will actually unload. And so you'll start to get them flickering out like that, and then there's just clouds and gray. Kind of look up and it'll reappear a little bit if you move. But that's all there is for this, and then here's what happens when I can get on top of it and not fall to my death. crazily. Of course, I will fall to my death eventually, but it is inevitable. But you can, if you get over here, you can kind of like float and fly, and it's kind of cool. You can get over here. There's nothing over here except for this ledge, so you could just walk back and forth for forever and be like, yeah, I did this. But, meh. It's not really worth it. So. And then when you get to the edge, you can see a surprise. Can you guess what the surprise is? Well, I kind of spoiled it by saying what the surprise was. There's nothing over here. Just to fall to your death. And that's it. Fly safe.